And then the first person that they're going to sleep with is Frank. Because Frank gets all the clean, huh?
I saw your guys' room last year. It was anything but. Leaving dishes in the sink. It's not going to make things spiral out of control.
This is the season premiere of underGRAD Season 3, which I am executive producing as usual and also directing this time around.
My name's Evan McGahey, and I wrote 301 in conjunction with Sam.
And my name is Sam Christopher, and I co-wrote 301 in conjunction with Evan.
I'm Miles Mosch, and I play Aiden Pierce Vitale in episode 301.
I am Annie Jankowski, and I play Margaret Irvine.
My name is Judd Yort, and I play Ash Rojas in episode 301, Under Control.
This season is a bit different because at the end of the second season, Aiden and Margaret have been fired from their jobs as RAs, so for the first time in the show's history, we're out of the dorms for good.
In season 2, Aiden's this leader figure, a bad one, but a leader figure, trying to be one. And then season 3, all of a sudden he's the roommate, he's the peer, he's an equal. It's kind of hard to think that way because he is older. He just came from being their RA. So it's sort of, it's a big step for him to look on them as his equals and his friends instead of sort of bossing them around.
Leaving season 2, Margaret has been fired from her RA duties, and so she opts to move into the sorority house, but right away we learn that she doesn't have a spot there, so she's kind of a nomad. Margaret crashes on Nina's couch, and she also lives with Jesse and Lindsay and a new roommate who is utterly insane. Her name's Amber. I don't know how to describe her, but Margaret basically smells something fishy, so she kind of starts snooping around a little bit and trying to figure out who this Amber chick is, and the plot unfolds.
Ash is auditioning for a student film. He auditions for the big role of Big Jim, and he thinks the audition went really well because the director told him he did great. But then he finds out later that the director didn't really like him and cast him as the sidekick, Little Buck. Ash does not really like that because he wants to be the big role, the big action hero.
My favorite scene is probably one that I wrote and was shot completely different from what I wrote. There's a scene where Margaret is hiding behind a tree, the way it was written, a tree or a wall, and she drags Nina behind as she walks by, and she says, "Look, there's Amber, she's crazy, I think she's stealing our stuff." And then in the draft, Amber just like appears behind the wall. But when they shot it, there was a wall with this little porthole type thing in it, and her face appeared in the little porthole and just stared at them, and it was the creepiest, funniest thing. And I loved it, and I've watched it about 20 times.
My favorite scenes were probably the Ash storyline with Big Jim and Little Buck. I just really enjoyed writing that. I really enjoyed writing bad action movie dialogue. I tried to get the most overly dramatic, student film-esque feel that I could get into it, and I was pretty pleased with the result.
Undoubtedly the basketball scene, because I am no good at basketball, even though I own a basketball hoop and several basketballs, and I watch a lot of basketball. I can't play.
I loved filming with Jessica Rowe, J-Rowe, who plays Amber. She was so much fun, and my character's usually the big, bubbly, energetic one, and she was another big, bubbly, energetic one, and so it was kind of cool to mess with that energy on set and meet a new friend.
In this episode, it's going to be exciting because you get to see the making of a student film, and those are always kind of funny because they don't have like the biggest production budgets, and so you get to see like these low-rate costumes. Like we have these domino masks, which is going to be fun, and then we're also wearing like these leather jackets as capes, and it's really an interesting part of that moment.
Season 1 kind of dealt with incoming freshmen. Season 2 was about the RA freshman relationship. And this is kind of the first season where we're just seeing college life, and I think that's pretty exciting.
I want everybody to take away a feeling of excitement for the rest of the season, excitement of seeing the new dynamic that we've created for the characters. You know, like the tagline says, they're out of the dorms, the rules are different, and their relationships are different. You know, I mean, now we have people who had previously been the RAs, who are now sort of learning to interact with other people as friends instead of as authority figures.
This season's going to be fun. It definitely opens with a bang, and by the end of the episode, you're definitely going to have a pretty strong idea of where a lot of the season's going to go. It's going to go to some fun places.
This episode was really fun to shoot. Everyone was great, like the cast and the crew, and I'm really excited where this episode leads us to go through the next season, like the whole Ash's journey through trying to prove to everyone that he can actually be the hero.
It was fun to film, and it starts off on a fun note, kind of with everything happening. Every character has their own unique thing that's starting right on, straight off the bat. I think it kind of really sets the tone well for this season and everything that's going on. So it's exciting and fun.
I can honestly say that underGRAD is a show that is constantly getting better. If you watch the very first episode, the pilot, versus this, there's a huge difference. And so now that, you know, everyone, the guys who work behind the camera have had a lot of practice, the actors have got a better grip on how to handle television acting and how to handle these characters. The writers have a better grip on how they want to do it. Everyone's just got all their jobs more under control. I would predict that season 3 will be the best season so far.
I think it's going to be a great season. Excited about it. And I hope that 301 gives everybody a good taste of what's coming up.
It's a good way to start the season.
Good way to start the new year in March.
Yeah, that's when I start my new year.
That's when the year starts.
March 7th.
Yeah. March 7th!